Hello, and welcome to this Price a Job tutorial. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the new Orders module in Price a Job. You can use the new Orders module to create purchase orders, work orders, or order requests for materials from suppliers or any other type of custom order. To access the Orders module, navigate to the Reports tab here in the left-hand side pane, and then select Orders. The orders you create are allocated to a specific project, so be sure to select from the Project Selection menu here the correct project for which you wish to create an order. In this example, we'll use the 23 Sparrow Way project. And now that we've selected the correct project, we can click here to add an order. To start with, you can change the title of your order however you wish. In this case, we might call this a purchase order, or we might need a work order, or maybe an order request for materials. However you wish to title your order is up to you. Next, you'll notice that we're being prompted to select a supplier. So we can click on the drop-down menu here and select a supplier from our previously populated supplier list. We've already added these suppliers to our database here under the Company tab in the left-hand pane under Suppliers. Here we can add any new suppliers that we want along with all the details. Alternatively, we can go back to the Estimate tab and select Reports and then Orders, and select the order that we're working on by clicking it in the list. And if we want to address this order to a supplier that's not listed here already, and we don't want to take the time to add all the details under the Company Supplier pane, we can just click Create New here, and we're given a quick entry form for suppliers. So here we might add Lowe's, with their address, 123 Builder Lane, Denver, Colorado, and their email, info@lowes.com, and then save. And this quickly adds the supplier to our supplier list. If we wish to add more details to the supplier's contact card, we can go back to the Company tab and select the Suppliers module and select our new supplier from the list in the right-hand side, and then fill in all the relevant details we wish to in their profile, payment details, orders, documents, and notes. Now it may be that your version of Price a Job does not have the Suppliers module here under the Company tab. And the reason for that is you'll need to upgrade to the Project Management Pack. To upgrade to this pack, you can go to your account by selecting the icon here in the top right corner and choose Shop. And then here you have the option of purchasing the Project Management module for $39 a month, or for more savings, you can select a yearly subscription for $319, which is equivalent of just $26.58 a month. And if you're considering purchasing other modules, we strongly encourage you to consider the all-included package, which sells for just $599 a year as compared to $777 for the year, a savings of almost $200. For now though, let's head back to Price a Job by clicking the Start button. And this brings us back to our estimate, where we can open the Reports tab here, and then go back to the Orders module. And then we'll select the order that we're currently creating. For now, this basic supplier information will be sufficient, so we can go ahead and start adding items to our order. And there are a variety of different ways to do this. We'll start by just simply clicking here, Add Item. And then under Description, we can select that and enter our description. Perhaps we need some screws. I will say those are number 10, 1.5 inch screws, box of 200. And then we can set the quantity to 3. And then we can specify the units, whether that's each, a bag, or a box. In this case, we'll choose a box. And then to add another item, we'll just click Add Item. And in this case, we might need some cement. And we'll specify that's a 50-pound bag. And maybe we need 8 bags of that. So we'll set a quantity of 8. And for the units, we will select bags. And if we'd like to organize our list of materials here, we can use these handles here on the left-hand side to click and drag to reorder our materials into any order we want. And we can continue adding items to our list by using the Add Item button. And this is an easy method to add items, but it's a little time-consuming. If we've already prepared an estimate for our project here, all of our materials will already be calculated for us. So rather than re-inputting all of these items individually, we can just simply go back to the Reports tab, back to the Orders module, select our order, and rather than adding the individual items manually, we can simply select Import. And this brings up a list of all the materials included in our estimate, as well as all the labor, plant and tool, and other costs. To add the full list of materials to our order, you can simply click Select All. But you might notice that many of these materials might have partial amounts. Now that's not the case here, because we've already set quantity rounding in our project settings. And that can be set here under the project settings cog. And under the tax and profit tab, we can scroll down and see the rounding section. And currently we have rounding set for all projects for the current and all global settings. So if we were to deselect rounding for this current project and then exit our settings and now try to re-import our materials, we'll see that many of our materials do have partial amounts. If this is the case, you still have the option to round your quantities here on the order page by selecting the round quantity checkbox here. And this will round all of your quantities to the next nearest whole number. Then we can scroll through the list and see if there's any items that we don't want to add to our order. For example, we have an aluminum siding allowance here. Perhaps we're sourcing our aluminum siding elsewhere. So we'll deselect the aluminum siding and import everything else. And now you see that our complete list of materials has been imported with no partial amounts. And it's a good idea to scroll through your list to see if there's any missing units. Like for example, in this case, the metal roofing allowance has a blank unit. So for that, we can select the units list and then specify how many units we're looking for this. In this case, that might be feet. Or maybe in this case, because it's an allowance, perhaps we're sourcing our metal roofing the same place we're sourcing our aluminum siding, in which case we can just delete this item from our order. Let's create another order. This time we'll go back to all orders by clicking all orders here in the top left. And we'll add a new order. This time we'll call this one a work order. And again, we'll import our values. And this time, rather than importing the materials, we'll import the labor. And click select all. And just review the full list to make sure we want to include everything on the list. And then click import. And this instantly imports all the labor into our work order. And you can see that the order number has been automatically numbered and automatically dated with today's date. And we can adjust this if necessary. And if we want to, we can include a reference number. And if we wish to expand our table below, we can select the columns by clicking the Select Columns icon here and choose to either show or hide the units and rates and totals. And this will show us the rates for each item as well as the calculated total based on the quantity. In the case of our order request for materials, we wouldn't want to show the rates and totals because we'll be requesting that of our suppliers. So we'll deselect that, and that will hide these columns. Next, we can set the status of this order. So here in the right-hand pane, we can select Status and choose either Delivered, On Hold, Delayed, Cancelled, or Awaiting. So we'll set this one for Awaiting, and then we can also customize the position of our header, either the logo on the left, logo on the right, or logo in the center. Let's put our logo on the right. And then we have an option of including notes here at the bottom of our order by either selecting or deselecting the Notes checkbox here. So if we deselect that, the Notes field is removed, and if we select it, the Notes field is included. To add notes, we can just freeform type here in the Notes field. If there's notes that you'll be using regularly, you can add those to your Notes template here by clicking the plus button and choosing from these note templates here. If you'd like to add any new categories, you can add new categories here. You might create a category called Orders and save. And then we can create new notes for that category. For example, quote required for 1 month, and save. And then you can add that note to your order by just clicking on the note. And that note will be added to your order. If you need to revise any of the notes, you can just click in the note field and revise that however you wish. Now let's take a look at a third way to add materials to our order. We've already added items manually by using the Add Item button, and we've imported them from our quotation using the Import button. But a third method is to add materials directly from the Price of Job library. So to do that, we'll click on the Library button here in the right-hand pane, and then you can search the entire Price of Job library of materials by searching the database. So for example, we might type wire, and then you can scroll through the results to find the type of material that you're looking for. And there's likely several pages of materials, so you can scroll through the pages here as well. Once you find the material you're looking for, go ahead and click on that, and that is added to your order list here at the bottom. Then you can update the quantity, we'll say 10, and we can repeat this for any other materials we might need as well. Let's say clamps. Then we can scroll through the list of materials that are shown, choose the clamps we need, and that's added to our order list. And we can adjust the quantity there. And if the description is overly precise, you can amend the descriptions just by clicking in here and then editing it as necessary. And this library isn't just for materials. You can also use this for work orders for labor, or plant and tool, or other costs. And once your order is complete, we have the options to either print the order by selecting the print icon here in the top right corner, or export it as a PDF, or email the order directly from within Price a Job. And you can amend the message of your email here as necessary. Please provide quote. You can also modify the subject and signature. And when you're ready, click send. And if you'd like to send this same request to multiple suppliers, this is easily done. We can just return to the All Orders page here and select the order that we want to resend. And rather than clicking on it, here in the right-hand column, there's an options menu icon here indicated by the 3 dots. We can select that and either edit, which is the same thing as actually just clicking on the order, or we can delete this order, or in this case what we want to do is duplicate it. So we'll select duplicate. And that creates a duplicate of our order here at the bottom, and this is order number 4. So we'll go ahead and select that. And here we have an exact duplicate of our previous order, except for the order number. So what we'll do is to send this to a different supplier is we'll just go to the right-hand column here and we'll just change the supplier. Rather than Lowe's, we'll select Ace Hardware. And now when we click to email this one, it will be addressed to the new supplier along with all their appropriate contact details. And then as the responses for your various orders arrive, let's say we get a response from Lowe's, we can click on that order and adjust the status. Rather than awaiting, we might set that to on hold. And if we check the All Orders page, we can see at a glance the status of that order. And then as other quotes come in, we can go ahead and update the status of these ones as well. So maybe Ace Hardware gets back to us with their quote. So here we could go change the status of this one from awaiting to on hold. And perhaps we want to attach a copy of their quote to this order. So in that case, we can click Add File. And this will allow us to upload a file from our system. And this file will be copied to the cloud here on Price a Job servers attached to this order where you can check it anytime you need to. And then anytime you wish, you can return back to this order and either delete this file by clicking the trash bin icon here, or view it by clicking the PDF icon. And this will allow us to either preview the file here within Price a Job or download it directly to see the results. And that's how to use the new Orders module. Thank you for using Price a Job.